Five Prince family. I'm so excited. I'm talking to one of our authors who you probably recognize, Courtney Davis. She is releasing a book on Tuesday, May 5th, and I'm very excited because this is going to complete the series for Chaotic Conceptions. So we'll be talking a little bit about the book she's releasing on Tuesday and a little bit about the whole series as well. So hi, Courtney. Welcome.
Oh, hello. I'm happy to be here. I'm so excited to be talking about the third book.
I am too. I know it's been a long time coming. So why don't you just go ahead and jump in? Tell us about this third book that we've got coming out on the 5th.
Yeah, so having the demon's baby is follows the kind of same sequence of events in a way with a little bit of a twist as the first two. In this one, it's not so much an accident that she gets the sperm that is not what she intended. She works for a demon. She's his secretary, and she's worked there for a year and saved up money to go get artificial insemination. And when he finds out what her plan is, he makes sure she gets his. Instead of the human that she had picked. And then he has to figure out how to tell her, then and how to deal with the fact that he realizes now that he wants her and all that comes with that.
Yes, yeah, I love this one. I do love that twist that's different from the first two. And I love the way he finds out and kind of inserts himself, which I'll save as a little bit of a surprise for the readers, but it's very fun. It's very twisty. So we've got Levi and Angie as our main characters for this one, Levi being the demon boss. What are the personality dynamics between the two of them?
Yeah, so he's a very kind of very oh gosh. As a demon, he's very easy to anger, but also very like nice and fair, but hard in business. He's made this company that she works for, and so he's known for being kind of a hard ass, and which has meant that he's like run through secretaries like crazy. Nobody stays. Um, and so he's very hard to work for. And she's very observant. So she kind of learns what to do to kind of handle him. And he doesn't even realize it's happening until she kind of slips up and points it out that she's been offering him tea when he's getting angry with a meeting to kind of smooth things over, and just all these little things that she's figured out how to kind of keep him calm. And she's just a very determined woman to have a baby on her own, no matter that no, without anybody else necessarily being having to be involved. And so when she finds out how he's kind of inserted himself in her life, she isn't really sure how to deal with it. She's pretty upset, but she also um, sort of decides that he needs to pay for for what he's done. So she moves in with him, and that kind of starts a forced proximity, and that leads into some fake dating because they're still working together. All the while he's trying to um, make her kind of choose him. She's waiting, or he's waiting for her to say, "Hey, okay, I want to be with you," because of the demon culture, where the woman is really the one to pursue and pick, and the guy just is working for it. So he's working for it, but she doesn't really understand that that's what he's doing with all these things. So yeah.
I love that too about kind of this different culture that he's from and kind of how things function. I love that. I feel like that brings in a really unique element as well. So speaking about tropes though, you mentioned there's some fake dating, there's forced proximity, there's workplace romance. So what was the most fun about combining these tropes?
I really liked the idea of having the office setting. That was kind of new for me. So I really enjoyed kind of the dynamic of not just a boss-employee relationship, but also kind of the workplace and the friends and the other people there. I thought it was a fun thing for me to explore in
Mhm.
the writing this time. Yeah.
Yeah, that is fun. I love the office setting. So in this series, so far, we've had a vampire sperm donor, we've had a werewolf sperm donor. So, what new elements did you get to introduce with this demon character?
Um, Uh, I twisted how happens at the beginning. I didn't want it to be a surprise for him this time. Um, really, this was the first book I thought of when I created the series. I thought of this idea where he finds out what she's doing um, through this. Through the calendar update and freaks out. And that was my first kind of feeling for this idea that there would be an accidental insemination thing. But when I went back and was thinking it through, I was like, well, how do I make that you still like the character? How
Mhm.
can you still like the guy that did this on purpose? And so then that's how I wrote the other two first because it was easier when it was all an accident. So with this one, it not being an accident, um, it was just it, and it I had to make it a demon because that just seems like demon behavior.
Yes.
And then always adding in those supernatural elements of like, well, it's culturally not that crazy maybe for him to do this and him being kind of a little bit of a simp for her is kind of the way I was feeling as I started writing it. Was just made it all fit and smooth out the trickery.
Yeah, I love that. And I was going to mention that as well, that this storyline is tricky because there's this kind of weird, like underlying almost manipulation where,
Right.
it could go down a slippery slope. But I think that one of the things that you've done really well in this series is matching up kind of personality traits with these supernatural creatures. And you've done some unique things too. Like we've got Victor, who is a vampire, but he's a beach bum, which
Yes.
I love that twist. And we've got the werewolf who is very grumpy and annoying, but he's also got this wolf inside of him that he's kind of battling with. And so to bring in the demon character, that was my first thought too when I read the description was, wow, that sounds exactly like what a demon would do.
Right.
It fits really well. And speaking of that, where do Levi's motivations come from, specifically with her pregnancy and kind of hijacking it?
Yeah, his main concern is that he won't be able to keep working with her if she's pregnant and it's somebody else's baby, that he'll know
Mm,
it's somebody else's, that it'll drive him crazy. It's kind of like, well, it kind of tips the scales on him being able to say he doesn't want her. And he realizes, well, I do, and I can't have her be pregnant with somebody else's baby. And all this time, he's kind of been manipulating her relationships for a year, but excusing his behavior in other ways of just like protecting her or just making it easier to work with her. And she'll be gone soon, like all the rest. But then she makes it a year, and um, yeah, so he's really motivated by that, like thought that he wants to keep working with her and how can he do that? And then that he wants her to be his and nobody else's. It
mhm.
kind of has to start admitting that.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. Overall, for this series, we've kind of touched on this in our last couple of interviews, but I like to bring it up because again, I feel like the pregnancy trope, specifically accidental pregnancy or surprise pregnancy, it's kind of controversial in the romance community. I think some people either love it or they absolutely hate it.
Yeah.
But I think what's so unique about this series is it is not accidental or surprise at
Hmm.
all, not for the woman, at least.
Yeah.
You know, the guy gets a little surprised, but even then, it's not that big of a surprise because they know that they've donated. So,
Right.
um, what for our romance readers out there who are very apprehensive and do have a dislike of accidental or surprise pregnancy, what about this series do you think might appeal to them in terms of having, that different factor?
Yeah, I think that the appeal comes in with here's just a life event that they are going through and they're still falling in love through it. There's no, oh, we kind of like each other, we kind of fell in love, and then we accidentally got pregnant, and then that, you know, um, so it's just there. It's just a life event that they're dealing with and falling in love through, and I think that's really different. Instead of fitting in that accidental pregnancy, that kind of can make or break a relationship in some of those other books.
Hmm.
I wanted it very obvious, which is why there's the pregnant lady on the covers and
Yes.
it's having the whatever's baby. I didn't want anyone to be able to say they didn't know.
Yes, yeah. We gave all the warnings up front.
Right? Yeah.
Um, so there's these three couples in the books, and they're all kind of dealing with the same, they live in the same place, they're dealing with the same chaos goddess and the insemination or the fertility clinic, I should say. Are there any connections between the three couples in the books, or are they just completely separate, just patrons of the same clinic?
Yeah, they personally don't really have connections, but you see a little bit of connections with like other people that they know. Like
Hmm.
the in the first book you are introduced to the werewolf couple that owns the coffee shop, and you see them in all three books just briefly. And then there's another character in the first book who was Victor's friend that is kind of mentioned in book three. So there's just a little bit, just enough to kind of like feel like it's the same area
Hmm.
without being too connected. Yeah. I didn't
Yeah.
I didn't feel like you could be best friends with someone who had an accidental
Yeah.
insemination and then have it happen to you, just
That's very true. A lot of romance series, I think, already push it a little close with little coincidences like that, but that's a little too close to home.
yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, like I said, I'm so excited. We've got this series out. All three of the covers. I love looking at all three of them together. It's
Thank
so
you.
fun.
Yes.
So to celebrate that, I have some fun surprise questions for you, and they're mostly
Okay.
just silly, but these are ones that normally I send questions to my authors. These are the ones that I did not send to you. So
Okay.
up first, Kiss, Mary, Kill, Levi, Onyx, and Victor.
Oh, um, that's a really hard question. Um, I honestly think I would marry Onyx. I think I'm just like deep down a werewolf girl.
Yeah.
And I would definitely kiss the vampire. So I guess I'm sorry, Levi.
Oh, I love it. If these three couples got together to do a group date to do something fun, what would they do?
Oh, man, they're such different personalities. That
I
would be
know.
hard. I think that there would have to be drinking involved. I think the guys, I think the girls would get along. I think they
Yeah.
would love each other. But the guys, I'm not sure. So maybe they could go bowling and there would be a bar there.
Yeah. Speaking of the girls getting together, if Angie, Aurora, and Chastity went on a girls' trip, where would they go?
I think that deep down they're all beach girls. So I think that they would have a beach vacation.
Oh, fun. This is a good one. Speaking of the guys maybe not getting together, in a fight between a vampire, a werewolf, and a demon, who would win and why?
Hmm. I think I think that the demon would win. I think I think the demon would win and the werewolf would be a close second, and I think the vampire would just be out.
Yeah. Oh, all right. And then the last one, we were talking, you mentioned that drinking would be involved. So this one is perfect. All three of the couples go to a bar. What does everybody order?
Oh, okay. Onyx would definitely be drinking beer. Levi whiskey, and I think that Victor would probably drink. He'd probably be a red wine drinker, I'm guessing. Yeah.
And what about the girls?
Oh, the girls. Yeah, I see them all as white wine drinkers, I think. Yeah.
I love that. Obviously, post-pregnancy, but
Yes. Yes.
they're out for a parents' night out, is my idea.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Well, would you ever return to this series, or is this third book kind of the final one?
I think I would. I kind of want to write a story where Felicity actually gets to have a baby, because there is some hints, like in the first book, that she kind of wants to have a baby, and that's what she's waiting for. I just haven't quite been able to figure out what that looks like. So I might revisit and flip it a little.
Okay. Yeah. So for fans of this series, it might not be completed, but we'll
Yeah.
see. We'll keep
We'll
our
see.
eyes out in the future.
Yeah.
Well, I did get, this is maybe another surprise for you. I did get permission that we could talk about this, but you have a very exciting project that we are releasing. It's starting in July, going through August. So do you want to tell our readers about that?
Yes, I'm super excited to be re-releasing a urban fantasy series, and it's a four-book series that's been re-edited, and lots of rewrites done on this series that I had released with a previous publisher that passed away a few years ago. I'm really excited because this was kind of like all of my writing love coming back after years of not writing went into this series. And so I'm super excited. It'll be two books coming out in July, two books in August, and the first one is A Life with Beasts. The second one is Supernatural PI. The third one is Secrets and Stalkers, and the fourth one is Lucky Rabbit's Foot. And it's set in Seattle, which to me is like the perfect setting for there's weird creatures everywhere and you wouldn't even notice.
Yeah.
And it's about a woman who is a magician, which means she was born with some magical abilities, and she doesn't want to be part of that world, and then she gets forced to face it and be a bigger part of it, partly because of who her father is, and then partly because an ex well, he's not an ex-boy. What an ex-enemy, current enemy, childhood enemy shows up at her door and demands help. So it's kind of it's a cozier series, kind of a cozy mystery urban fantasy, but it still has the romance in there because that's what I love. Yeah, I'm super excited about getting that back out, and it's all if for anyone who had seen it before, it's all been re-edited, rewritten, and it's a much stronger story because I've learned so much as a writer since I did it the first time that it was such a fun chance to get to go back and redo it. I'm super excited.
Yeah, I'm really excited too. I'm excited when, next time when we get to sit down and talk about all these things and what it's like to rewrite a series and revisit something like that as well. So, very excited. That first one is coming out on July 7th, and we will be releasing covers for that soon and dropping the rest of the release dates and all of that. But very exciting. It's going to be a good summer. So I'm looking
Yes,
forward to that. Yeah.
me too.
Are you working on anything else right now at the moment besides trying to survive the school year, obviously?
Oh, I know. We're so close. I am. So I'm writing another dystopian. I have one dystopian, Soul Sacrifice, and I'm writing another one. And I'm really enjoying that, although challenging me a little bit as a writer because just the way that I'm formatting the characters and their stories is a little bit different than I've done in the past. And so it's kind of going slow, but I had such an epiphany today that I can't wait to get to it because I'm not a plotter, right? I just have my idea and I start going and I have no idea where I'm going. But I'm like, these things have to tie together. How does it come together? And I think I just hit it today. And
Oh, I
so,
love when that happens. I think you and I are
yeah.
very similar writers. It's like I call it discovery writing. I cannot
Yes.
plot something out. I'm like, I'll figure out who they are by the end of the first draft.
Right.
I've gotta,
Yeah.
I gotta get it out of my head. So I love
Yeah.
that. Congrats on the epiphany.
You.
All right. Well, finally, as I always like to ask, where can our readers find you and connect with you online?
Yes, I'm on most social medias, author Courtney Davis, and my website is authorcourtneydavis.com. So I try to be around all the time. It's like a full-time job just doing that, but I I try to be. So yeah.
Yes, yes. All right. Well, like I said, make sure you check out Courtney's new book coming out on Tuesday, May 5th. I'm not actually sure when this is going to go up, so it might actually be out by the time everyone is watching this, but make sure to check out Having the Demon's Baby, as well as the other two in the Chaotic Conception series. We've got Having the Vampire's Baby, which is book one, Having the Werewolf's Baby, which is book two, and then, of course, our new release, Having the Demon's Baby. So,
Yes. And I guess just a note to readers, if you want to step in at the third one, you won't miss much. They're not
oh,
so
yeah.
connected that you would feel off if you read the third one first or anything like that.
Yes, yeah. Thank you for mentioning that. I'm glad you said that. I had meant to say that they are a series, but you can read them as standalones. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
all right. Well, Courtney, thank you so much for joining me. It was so great getting to chat.
Thank you. I love chatting with you.
Yes, me too. And I'm so excited. Congrats on the new release, and I'm looking forward to this summer.
Yes, me too.
All right.